Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another awesome YouTube video. In today's episode, we're going to talk about my Tesla Turo journey. For those of you who haven't been to the channel before, you might have not seen my other updates, but essentially I've been doing Turo for almost a year. And not only that, but I actually rent a Tesla on Turo. And then usually at the end of each month, I go on here and tell you guys exactly what happened, my experiences, and also my earnings. Whether I'm profitable or not, I share it all with you. In today's episode, I'm not just gonna give you 1 month, not 2 months, but 3 whole months of my Turo experience. So in today's episode, I'm gonna give you everything that happened in spring on Turo. Without any further ado, roll the intro and let's jump right in. Let's go. Before we dive into the income and the net profits, I wanted to talk about exactly what happened during the month of April, May, and June. More specifically, the events that took place during these months. Now, the first month I want to talk about is April, and April wasn't very eventful besides the fact that a client had scratched a couple of the rims, and unfortunately, Turo doesn't cover any of that unless the rims are completely cracked or broken entirely. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but I'm not super stressed about it, especially because it's just a little bit of scuffing. So that was April, but May was very, very special because it was one of the first months where I took a trip, meaning I took a vacation, and me and my fiance went to California, more specifically San Diego, for about 2 whole weeks, which means I didn't have the car on the Turo market whatsoever, at least not for about 2.5 weeks. 1.5 days before the trip, 2 weeks for the trip, and another 1.5 days for me to recover and to get the car fully charged, cleaned, and ready to go for the next trip. So that happened to limit my income and total profitability that month, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Just something to keep in mind when I tell you the totals. But another reason why this is important is because a lot of people say,
well, I don't want to rent my car because I don't really get to enjoy the car.
But in fact, I do get to enjoy my car a lot more than people think. Now, I don't take a vacation every month or even every 3 months. Maybe once a year we'll go on a longer vacation, and maybe every 6 months we'll go on a short one. And during those times, we try to plan it out far enough in advance that doesn't really affect my income all that much. But it is something to consider when you're thinking about renting out your car. Now, June was my first time replacing one of the tires completely because of the wear and not the tear. Now, what Discount Tire told me was I absolutely needed to get it replaced, even though I was just having it checked out, because it was at 2:30 seconds to about 3:30 seconds, and they said that is considered completely bald by law, by the way. And in fact, when I looked it up after the fact, it actually wasn't true.
It costs money to eat, and they don't want you to eat.
So when you go to Discount Tire, be careful because they are not your friend. They're there to sell you on a product. And if you don't know that already, then I hope this video tells you just that. Not only did they want to replace my one tire, which ultimately I decided, hey, let's replace that one. They also tried to sell me on 2 of my other tires.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se.
Even though they were around 4:30 seconds and 5:30 seconds in tread. And Tesla tires start around 9 and 10:30 seconds is what the guy told me. So when you think about it that way, 4:30 seconds and 5:30 seconds is kind of halfway through their total lifespan, and they have plenty of room to go before they're completely legally bald. But again, the guy was a salesman, and I don't blame him for it. He's just trying to make his money. So I respect the hustle, but I didn't get those replaced. Instead, what I did was I bought my own checker, and after looking into the legal code and Turo requirements, I now make sure to measure all of my tires before and after every single trip, just so I know the exact time when I should be changing out my tires. Now, I'm sorry for the little bit of a rant, but it's been 3 months since I've done an update video, so I thought I would share everything that happened in full detail. All right, so we're starting things off in April, which had a total of 3 trips for a total gross of $1,244. That's $1,244. And my total expenses were $928. For all intents and purposes, it is the car, it is the cleanings, and it is also the insurance as well. And if you're a math whiz, you probably already know that I made a net income of $316 for the month of April.
It's called secure your bag. Do you know it costs money to eat food?
Now, May was again a special month because I only had the car available for around 1.5 weeks. And that means I only had one total trip. And that trip ended up being around $844 in gross. Now, my expenses for that month were pretty much the same as the previous. Happened to be $919. And yes, that means for the month of May, I actually lost $78, which marks the second non-profitable month thus far.
You guys are getting paid?
And this one was a little bit out of my control, just like the last one. If you haven't seen that video, I'll make sure to put it down in the comment section below if you want to watch it after this one. And the month of June actually happened to make up a lot of that money that I lost. In fact, June had a total of 4 trips, a little bit shorter ones, but nonetheless, I had a total gross of $1,354. That is $1,354. And after all expenses, which happened to be $932, I walked away with a net of $422. So after everything said and done, these 3 months netted me around $600. Now, you do have to subtract the one tire I had to replace, which is around $170. So the total for the 3 months that I put in all of this work, this is what I came out with.
Now, Lamborghini.
Now, I also had some equity built in the car, so when I do go to sell this car, or if I ever decide to sell it, maybe not, I will be able to get a lot of that money that I put into the monthly payments back out of the car as well. Now, after this video, we are only 2 months away from having my car be listed on Turo for a whole year, which that is when I'm gonna do my next Turo update video and show you guys a full year's worth of everything that happened and also all of the profit that I made during this time. I'll probably be doing it on a spreadsheet so that way you guys have a clear understanding of everything that I made. And I'll also show you the equity that I've built in the car as well. So if you want to see more videos like that, make sure to smash the subscribe button. And also don't forget to like this video if you liked this video. Obviously, otherwise, don't like it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.